In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Today I will talk about Sureh Fosselat, that is Surah number 41, and this is session 4, talking about this Surah. Today I will talk about verse 12. At the previous session, I talked about verse 11. And today I talk about verse 12. It says, talking about the sky which is close to the earth, and to the talking about this sky and the earth, the surah states, so he made them 7 skies in 2 periods, and revealed in every sky its duty. And we designed the lower sky with lights and made it to guard. That is the decree of the mighty, the full of knowledge. This verse has 2 parts that I will talk about them very briefly. 1, he made them 7 skies in 2 periods. And we revealed in every sky its duty. I have talked about the 7 skies separately in a few sessions, and we have talked about the amazing role of each of these 7 skies in protecting the life on earth. Now I repeat it very briefly. These 7 skies are 5 skies that have air, but the condition of the air and the temperature in these 5 skies is different. And then above them are 2 skies which do not have air, but they have severe magnetisms. And all of these 7 skies are very important for protecting the life on earth. At first, the sky did not have free oxygen. Later on, free oxygen was produced at the first sky. There was oxygen in at the first sky and other skies too, but it was combined with other things, especially with carbon. But then God made free oxygen at the lower sky. That is where we human beings live, and we need this oxygen. This is why the verse states that God made the 7 skies in 2 periods. At the first period, there was not free oxygen, and at the second period, there was free oxygen, which is necessary for us. 2. Part 2 of this verse, of the verse 12, states, and we designed the lower sky with lights and made it to guard. The lower sky, that is the air that is in contact with the earth, has water vapor and oxygen. The astronauts who have gone high in the sky state that above this first sky that we live in, above that, the stars and the planets are not beautiful at all. In fact, they are like chalk powder which has been poured on a blackboard. But as you know, at the first sky where we live in, we see the stars and the planets beautiful and shiny. This is because the light reflects in the very small droplets of water which are in the sky. The reason that the diamond is beautiful is that the light reflects in it. But pieces of glass are not beautiful because the light does not reflect in them. The lower sky is also the guardian of life because this is the only sky that has free oxygen and has water. And both of these are quite important for the higher living creatures, especially for the human beings. At this time, I would like to talk about unproved claims about parts of the nature. I heard, number one, I heard that a scientist planted two groups of flowers close to each other, and when watering them, he would talk to one group with love and affection, and with another group with blame and hate. The first group grew better, and the lights became large and beautiful. In the second group, that he was talking to them with hate and blaming them, the flowers were small and they would die soon. I could not find the name of this scientist in the literature to evaluate his experiment. But I have heard of many different people, not only in Iran but also in the United States, that if you talk to the flowers when you water them, each time that you go close to them, if you talk to them with love and affection, their flowers become better. So this claim might be true, but it should be proved with some people observing it. Also, at about the year 2000, somebody in England, and then shortly after that, another person in France claimed that they have done research on the water and they have found that the water has wisdom. But both of them, when they had to repeat their tests with some people observing it, failed in their claims. Later on, Mr. Masaru Emoto is Emoto in Japan, claimed these and gradually became famous all over the world. He wrote 5 books which were translated to several languages. I bought the 3 mostly read of the English translation of his books and read them carefully. He said that he pours water in small plastic bottles and then decreases the room temperature to -5 degrees centigrade so that the water freezes. And he says that when the water freezes, they make hexagonal crystals. And then with the microscopic cameras, he takes pictures of these crystals. He said that the well water and the spring water, which are pure, make clear crystals. But the tap water, which has the air pollution, the tap water which has chloride, and also the rain which has air pollution in it make hazy crystals. He says then he wrote some words on pieces of paper and wrapped them around the bottles. For the words of God and love, the crystals were quite clear. But for the words like devil and hate, the crystals were hazy. He says, then I went further in the experiment. And he says that I wrote the name of God on all the languages on the earth that I had access to them. Not only Japanese, but English, French, Spanish, Urdu, Turkish, Farsi, and so on. And he said that in all of them, the crystals were quite clear. And that means that the water knows the name of God in any language on the earth. Later on, I had access to a tape recorder, a video recorder. It said that an Arabic voice was talking in English language, and it said that a Muslim gave some Zamzam water to Mr. Emoto. Zamzam water comes from Mecca, and it has the history of Prophet Abraham and Prophet Ismail. When Prophet Abraham took Ismail, who was an infant, with his mother Hajar to Mecca, where to a desert that where now is Mecca. God, for saving the life of Ismail, produced a spring that is Zamzam water, and Zamzam water is still continuing, coming out of this spring. The Arabic voice said that Mr. Emoto freezed Zamzam water to -5 degrees centigrade, but it didn't make any crystals. So he diluted it with distilled water. And he continued diluting it until he diluted it to 1,000 times. Then it made crystals. But the crystals were two overlapping ones. And Mr. Emoto has said that this is because the word Zamzam is two parts, Zam and again Zam. For each of them, the water has made a crystal. And then in another study, Mr. Bhutto placed a tape recorder close to the bottles, and the tape recorder was reciting Quran. The crystals became quite clear. There are some drawbacks in this research. One, he says that he has a team who help him, and one of them is very interested in this work, and he is very smart. So smart that part of the work is his ideas. And every evening they have dinner together. But he refuses to declare the name of this person, or even saying that how many people, not only not giving the name of his staff who were working with him, but he even does not say how many people they were. Two, an American organization for research offered him $1 million prize if he repeats his tests with a few people observing it. But he refused it. There is a question why he refused this big prize, especially because this prize could have helped him for doing his research. Three, all the publications of his books in Japanese and all other languages are under the control of his wife, and the benefits of selling these books go directly to her wife. Mr. Emoto died in 1914, but still the control of the selling the books are under the control of his wife. These books are rather expensive. They also sell two other items. One is a regular sized paper covered with small stickers, which might cost about 10 cents, but it is sold for $10. And the other one is three very small plastic bottles that together they might cost $1 or less, but they are sold for $30. And the shipping and handling is not included, so that the one who buys them should pay for shipping and handling also. Based on what I said, Mr. Emoto's claims cannot be scientifically accepted unless they are repeated with some people observing them. Usually, a scientific research is done under the supervision of a specialist of statistics. These specialists observe many pitfalls in doing the scientific research. One of them is repeating the test many times. If a test is repeated 10 times and the result is the same in all of them, they say n is 10. N is the number of the observations. And if the test is repeated 500 times, n is 500. The small n, like 10, has very, very slight value. But big numbers for n, like 500 or 1000, are important, and they show that the possibility, they use probability. The statisticians use this word, P. P is, the bigger the P, when the n is bigger, the P, which is possibility of the result being corrected is more. Thank you very much. And today's date is 10/15, 10/25/18. God bless you.